is 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. So it's a 2-hour class. It is asana. So you can come in and get your yoga then. It's a reset and detox workshop. So think of all of your favorite poses that you do here and imagine that we'll just be holding all of those a little bit longer, getting into some new stuff to get you excited and ready for the new year. I think they're doing some intention setting, discussions, all sorts of fun stuff. I personally love these 2-hour classes because it gives you an opportunity to take something new home with you, whether that's a new breathwork practice, something new you've learned about your anatomy to add to your little owner's manual, and hopefully something that can just take you into the next 12 months with another tool at your disposal. So if you're interested in that workshop, it is $40, and I can help you get some details or get you signed up after class. Let's do the thing we came to do. 60 minutes of JIP, start in child's pose. So right here, start with your chest toward the floor, knees super wide, toes come to touch behind. Place yourself mindfully on your mat. And that's going to mean something a little different for each one of us. We come in this room and we show up here online with whatever baggage we came with, whether that's sitting too long in our body today, doing too hard of work in one area or another in the body today. So set yourself up right here in a child's pose that gives your body what it needs out of this. So maybe you start to notice a little bit of hip opening. Take your sticky fingers all the way down past the edge of your mat and press them down. So all of your knuckles pressing down. If I were to come around and try to pluck your fingertips up, I shouldn't be able to. Now with your sticky fingers stuck to the top of your mat, start to pull your shoulder blades down toward your hips. So you should start to get a stretch all the way up the front side of the arms. Press through the heels of your hands and press your sit bones back even more past the edge of your mat. One more breath right here. Fill up. Empty everything out. Take your first downward facing dog. And we'll start to build our breath here. So we practice in this practice a Ujjayi breath. Take your full inhale until there's no more room left in your lungs. Notice the pause. And then exhale it out until there's no air left. Notice the pause there. Add your movement to that breath. So go ahead, bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you'd like to go from down dog into a high plank and back. You do you, making the movements that you need. And then adding your breath. So notice the pause in the breath and the pause in the movement happening at that same time. One more breath here. Inhale, lift your heels to the ceiling. Exhale, bring them down toward the mat. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Ragdoll, pull the pit of your belly all the way in and up. Get your feet settled here on 12 o'clock. So sides of your feet parallel to the sides of your mat. Yeah, all 10 toes face forward. Press your big toe mounds down. Press the center of each heel down. On your next inhale, rise all the way to stand. Take your gaze up. Take your chest up. Hands at heart center. And then here it is, your opportunity to set an intention for the next 60 minutes. How are you showing up? How are you getting what you came for? And maybe even just deciding what it is you came for, what got you out of your house today or onto your mat if you're at home. We'll seal those intentions with one Om together, full breath in. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, create that long, flat spine and fold on the exhale. Inhale, extended mountain all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Halfway lift to fill. Fold on the exhale. One more like that. Extended mountain, press down, lift up, fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths together. Inhale. Empty it out. 2 more. Last one, fill up. Empty out. Feet to hands, halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain, chest up. Maybe the gaze goes back. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. In and empty. Yeah, louder so our friends at home can hear. In, empty out. At home, let your breath fill your space. In, blow it out. Feet to hands, halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain, go up and go back. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths in and out. Last one, fill. Empty out. Feet to hands, half lift. Fold. Chair pose, sink down, reach high. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, right side warrior 1. Step it through. Inhale as you reach. Chaturanga on your exhale. Up dog. Down dog. Left side. Use your inhale to rise. Reach for the pause. Chaturanga on your exhale. Up dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Fill up. Clear it out. Last one. Feel the lift. Bend and hover. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Fold. Half lift. Chaturanga. Step or hop. If we're hopping back, it's straight to low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Right side warrior 1. Press your big toe mounds down. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Left side. Step and reach. Inhale to rise. Chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing. Down dog. Breath in and empty. Last one. Fill. Empty. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Take the pause. Nice. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Find the pause at the bottom where your elbows are at 90. Up dog. Down dog. Right side warrior 1. Step through. Inhale, rise. Chaturanga. Yeah, you move with your breath. Up dog. Down dog. Left side. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in and exhale it out. Lift your right leg up behind you. Press it past the back of your mat here. Yeah, so really what we want to look for is length, as if you're kicking toward the yogi behind you or the wall behind you, you want to knock it down. So less height and more pressing straight back. Nice adjustments. Bend your knee, open your hip, stay here or flip your dog. Everything that's touching the ground, no matter where you're at right now, presses down the heels of your hands, the heels of your feet. One more breath. Both hands down, side plank, right side. Choose the intensity of this pose. If I were to tell you that we're staying here for 10 breaths, how would you accomplish that? Press down, lift up, one more breath, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Full breath in, lion's breath out. Nice, lift your left leg up behind you. We get to do it all on the other side. So press through your heel, flex your foot. Yeah, and then how much length can you find from your shoulders all the way to your lifted foot? Press down through your hands. Press down through the ball of your right foot just a little more. Bend your knee, open your hip, stay or flip. Take your gaze past your fingertips. Nice, and then maybe it starts to drift down toward the floor, and you might feel the beginnings of a wheel pose right between your shoulder blades. One more breath. Both hands down, side plank on the left. Yeah, and then your variation, you can take the bottom knee down, the top leg could come in front for a kickstand, or you can lift that top leg. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Find a place to lift. On your exhales, find somewhere to pull in. Last breath. Both hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Press your right leg back behind you. Bring it in, knee to nose and hover, shoulders over your wrists. Nice, send it back. Knee to nose and hover. Last time, send it back. Knee to nose, squeeze in and up. Step it forward for crescent lunge. And then the foot doesn't always land exactly where we want it, so pick it up and place it there. Allow it to be messy. And then find your lift here. All the way to the ceiling. Take your gaze between your fingers. Now come down low in your lunge. Low enough so you can start to feel the front of the hip flexor on the left side stretching all the way from your heel to the center of your chest. Can you take your gaze back just another light bar or two? Nice. One more breath. Hands to heart center, twist to your right. Yeah, now you just did all that work in creating length on both sides of your body. Keep it present here. Hands press into center. If they're opening up, use that bottom arm for a little bit of leverage. Can you make more space in the front of your chest? Last breath in. Twist it out. Crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Stay low. Nice. Yeah, throughout the whole transition. Nice, Allie. Now right here, lift the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. So we're long on both sides of the body, now on the front of the back of the body. Lift the crown of your head toward the ceiling. One more breath. Extended side angle. Fingertips down in front of your foot to the floor or maybe to a block. Use your arm pressing into your leg here to send your knee 1 more inch out toward the right. So you might even look down and see that that knee is tracking straight over top of your middle toe. Nice. 1 more breath. Reach both arms forward. Chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Lift your left leg up behind you. Bring it in, knee to nose on your exhale. Hover shoulders over wrists. Send it back. Exhale, bring it in. Hug your belly button in. Send it back. Last time, in and up, squeeze. Step the foot forward, crescent lunge. Now you know where we're going, so come low right away until you can start to feel the front side of your right hip flexor. And then come down even lower. Notice in your own body where you feel that. For some of us, it's way different. We might be way up here. We might even need our hips a little bit lower than the knee to really feel it for some of us. One more breath. Hands to heart center, twist to your left. Now keep a little bit of a bend here in your right knee. That's how we harness the energy from the floor here. Now press your right thigh up toward the ceiling. That's going to bring your right hip up to meet the left. One more breath in to lengthen. Exhale, twist it out. Back to crescent lunge. Transition to warrior two. Keep the hips low if you can. Nice. And then if the front leg needs a break, give it one and come right back down. Drishti right over your front fingertips. Lift your back arm up to meet the front arm. Yes, for every single one of us, the back arm wants to lay down just a little bit. Place your drishti on the whole body. One more breath. Extended side angle. Reach your fingertips here up over your left ear. Nice. So you're essentially reaching toward the other side of the room rather than just up toward the ceiling. Do you feel how that extends that line of stretch all the way from the back foot to your fingertips? Nice. One more breath. Can you reach both arms forward? Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in together and out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, sink down low, reach high. Now we want to keep it so when we go for the twist that the chest stays higher than the hips. So you know where that lands for you. Sink a little bit lower right here. Hands to heart center, twist to your right. Keep the chest high. For most of us, that means just sinking the hips lower. Yes, nice adjustments. If you've got your hands together, press them in. If you're opening your arms, use the leverage on that bottom arm to rotate your chest open toward the ceiling. Nice. One more breath. Twist it out. Back to chair. And fold. Fingers to toes, forward fold. Place your feet here at parallel. Maybe the heels are a little bit wider than your toes. So we're creating here in this forward fold that the front of the pelvis is closed and the back of the pelvis is open. So we've got a lot of space for the lumbar spine to breathe. And that allows us to take the fold even further. Can you find a mini halfway lift? Yeah, and then on the exhale, fold even further. Let your chest drop towards your knees. Release your toes. Inhale, chair, sink down, reach high. Hands to heart center, twist to the left. And then notice here in your own body, is my chest up above my hips? If not, sink the hips lower. Nice. Now get the hands involved. Press them in together or open the arms. Use the bottom arm as leverage. Let your thoracic spine move forward towards your chest for 2 more breaths. Last one in. Exhale it out. Inhale to chair. Fold. Palms to toes, forward fold. Gorilla pose. Create this forward fold in the same way with the heels just out a little bit further than the toes toward the sides of your mat. Notice where that makes a difference for you. Keep at least a little bend in both knees. On an inhale, take that mini halfway lift and then fold even further. Let your head drop, round your shoulders forward. Release your toes, crow pose. If goddess squat is more what your body needs right now, go there. If you want to tip your crow over into an inversion, go there. Again, it's another place in the practice where there's a million degrees of intensity and you get to customize. So notice here in your crow that your, what do we call them? Your wrists are parallel to the front of your mat. Little shelves with your elbows, and then squeeze in. Yeah, crow or goddess here. Squeeze in and then press your elbows out into your knees. 2 more breaths wherever you're playing. And then on your exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Very nice. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Exhale it out. 1 more like that. Fill. And empty. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain reach up, look up. Take eagle pose on your right. So right arm comes under, right arm over, have a seat. You choose where the toes go. They can stay down on the floor, or you could wrap them around the shin. Keep your drishti, your focal point, on one spot here. Choose something you can commit to for the rest of our balancing sequence. Keep your gaze where it is. Switch sides. Left arm comes under, left leg over. Wrap it up and have a seat. Now again, here's one of those places where you're your best teacher. Feel in your own body where there might be a lift that you can create. If somebody were pulling you like a marionette with a string on the top of your head, how would you accommodate that? Nice. 1 more breath here. Both feet to the ground. We'll go for standing leg raise. Place your hands in what I guess we'll call your imaginary back pockets. So the soft part of your hand, you can feel those bony plates. Gonna lift the right leg up. Hands stay in your pockets, press in. This just lets us know where the hips are. Reach your heel forward. On your inhale, lift your knee to chest. Reach it forward. Can you lift it another inch? Nice. Knee to chest. Reach it forward. Airplane, keep your hands where they are. Send your foot all the way back. And you notice right here how the hips want to articulate. You can reach for your heels here, full airplane. Just noticing that the hips here are in one straight line going right across. Nice. Keep them right where they are. We're going to do something a little bit different even here. So twisting half moon. Right arm comes down toward the floor. Reach your left arm to a T or toward the ceiling. Nice. Fingertips on a block is really helpful here. Press through your lifted heel. 1 more breath. Both feet down. Shake that out. And we'll go to the other side. Hands in your imaginary back pockets. Press the heels of your hands in. Really feel that bony plate and what's going on back there. Lift the left leg. Knee to chest. Press it out. Knee to chest. Press it out maybe a couple inches higher. Knee to chest. Press it out. We'll go for 1 more in. A little higher. Airplane. Keep the heels of the hands right where they are. Big toe mound of your standing foot presses into the floor. That's the rudder of this whole pose. Nice. Keep pressing back. You can reach for your heel. Keep the hips right where they are. Twisted half moon. Bring your left arm down to the floor or the block. Right arm to a T or toward the ceiling. Can you place your drishti on one specific spot right here? Press through the heel just a little bit more. One more breath. Both feet down. Inhale, extended mountain at the top of your mat. Dancer pose, right side. So you choose here, dancer or standing bow. You can take this with a strap as well. If you're going for standing bow, grab the inside of the right ankle, soft part of your elbow facing out with your thumb to the ceiling. Nice, drishti on one spot. And then really use your breath in this pose. So on the inhale, find a lift. And on the exhale, pull your belly button into your spine. Nice, 2 more breaths on this side. Fill up completely. Empty completely and switch left side. And then set up your grip here. It'll give you a little bit more room in the shoulder. Hand straight back with the thumb up. Yes, and take it that direction. Yes. And then you feel how that gives you a little bit more opening all across the left side of the shoulder. No work happening here in this shoulder. One more breath. Switch sides. Eagle on the right, or dancer on the right is where we're going. Inside of the right ankle, send it back. Dial your knee here down toward the mat. So that's going to give you that same sensation of the hips being level to the floor. One more breath. Switch to the other side. One fluid movement. Grab the inside of the left ankle, press it back. Allow that pressing back to be what opens your shoulder. 2 more breaths. Last one. Both feet to the mat. Inhale, extended mountain at the top. Take tree pose on your right. And you can place your foot anywhere here from the floor, down by your ankle, all the way up to the top of your thigh, just avoiding the inside of the knee. You choose the arm expression that works for you here. But send your tree pose all the way out towards your fingertips. And we've all got a different arm variation, so that means something different for every one of us. What would it mean to make your fingertips feel alive here? Close your eyes. We'll take 2 more breaths. Fill up completely. Exhale it out. Last one. Switch sides. Left foot where it wants to be, arms expressed how they'd like to be. Notice what you can do in your own body to become a bit taller here. So for most of us, when we take our arms way up or even out wide, the tendency is that the chest and sometimes the rib cage flares out. Can we bring that back into center? Nice adjustments. 2 more breaths. Close the eyes here. Both feet to the mat. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, right side triangle. Step your foot all the way to the top of your mat. Now set up your feet here in such a way that you could draw a line from the middle of your right heel all the way to the back of your mat and run into your left heel or the arch of your left foot. For most of us right here, we want probably this foot to be back just a little bit further. Yeah, so bring your foot all the way back to about here. Yeah, there you go. So now your heels are in line. And a lot of times that gives us just a greater access to getting horizontal here. One more breath. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Yogi's choice here, if there's an inversion you'd like to get up to, some movement side to side that you'd like to get up to. And know here that stillness is also always an option. Little bend in each knee. This is part of our grounding sequence. So what we're looking for is an embodied grounding into the floor. And in order for us to do that, we need to access the floor. So a little bend in the knees so you can press through your heels. And then feel how that energy comes all the way up the back of your legs so you can send your sit bones straight up toward the ceiling. Very nice. If you're taking those side to side movements, get even on both sides. And on your next inhale, rise all the way to stand. We'll take triangle on the left side. So just switch your feet here. So facing now towards what was the back of your mat. So your left foot facing the back of your mat, your right foot is parallel to what was the front of your mat just a moment ago. You got it. Find that sense of grounding here, little bend in the knees so you can press down into the earth. Drive your big toe mound of your left foot into the ground. One more breath. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Opportunity here for another inversion, maybe a bind behind the back. Nice, and then add your breath to it. Yeah, so you got a little bit quiet. Sometimes your neighbor needs you to be the breath warrior. So if you don't hear your neighbor breathing, start it. I promise they'll chime in. Yeah, and then it just becomes this nice wave all across the room. Add your breath to it. Add your breath to the pose and see what changes for you right here. Get even on both sides. On your inhale, use your strong core to rise. And we're step to the top of our mat. Inhale, extended mountain all the way at the top. And fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Roll yourself all the way out to a high plank here. Knees down if that's the way you normally take your high plank. We'll be here for a few moments. Pull the pit of your belly into your spine. Nice. And then if your knees down, take them way behind your hips. Nice. Slowly lower all the way down to your mat to a count of 5, 4, yes, 3. Embrace the shaking. 2 and 1. All the way down. Locust pose. When you get there, press your hips down. Inhale, rise. Reach your fingertips back for your heels. Nice. And then find all the length here from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Press the back of your skull toward the ceiling. Nice. One more breath. Lower down. Tick-tock your feet back and forth if that would feel good. And this time we'll take a closed locust. So place the balls of your feet on your mat, toes tucked under, just like your chaturanga feet. And on your inhale, lift the top half of your body. Yeah, and then your choice with the arms here, they can be reaching for your heels, out wide, maybe reaching forward. With that little bit of extra stability of the feet on the floor, can you find a little bit more lift or maybe a little bit more strength? One more breath. Come on down. Take your feet side to side. Floor bow. We'll do two. So if you'd like to do one leg and then the other, that's your choice. Grab one ankle or both ankles and then send your feet all the way back past your mat. Flex your feet here at the top. And now press them up into the ceiling like you've got some ink on the bottom of your foot and you want to make a stamp all the way up there. Nice. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Right cheek to the mat, feet side to side. Floor bow number 2, opposite side or both legs here again. Squeeze your knees into center and then send your feet back. So we want our knees here to be just about hips width distance or closer. 2 more breaths. Last one. On your exhale, release all the way to the floor. Place the palms of your hands down at your lowest ribs on your inhale, upward facing dog. Bent elbows at the top. Press the tops of your feet down. Maybe here you can lift your thighs up off the floor. Nice, bend the elbows. One more breath. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale it out. Camel pose, just one of them tonight. So stack yourselves up. Shoulders over hips, hips over knees, hands in your imaginary back pockets, just where they were for standing leg raise. Use that to press down and lift your chest. Bless you. And there's a few things happening with the hands. They can press into the sacrum to retract your shoulders. And then also pressing down to send your tailbone down toward the floor while lifting your thoracic spine toward the ceiling. On an inhale, rise up and out. Take down dog or sit back on your heels for high hero. A breath in to let the stars fade. And then bring your feet all the way around for bridge pose. Flat on your back with your knees to the ceiling. Stack your heels right underneath of your knees. You should be able to graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips here. Press down, rise up. Hip bridge number 1. Now, if you're used to taking hip bridges, maybe in strength classes and other modalities, a lot of times there's some squeezy glutes going on here. See if you can let that go. I know we've trained ourselves in so many ways that belongs here, but see if it can disappear. Focus on just pressing your feet down and letting the strength come from there. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Take your knees side to side if they need it, and then set yourself up for bridge number 2. Press down, rise up. Keep the eyes open here. So we've still got the practice going on of looking for a drishti. Here it's going to be somewhere on the ceiling. One more breath. Lower all the way to the floor. 3 more back bends. You choose bridge or wheel. Set your hands and on an inhale, rise. Stay here at the top of it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, breath in together and out together. On your inhale, rise. Notice what the hips are doing here. So we want to create that the front side of your hips and the back side is open. So almost opposite of what was in the forward fold. One more breath here. Lower all the way down. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Rise all the way up. Last one, biggest one. So what happens for us here in these back bends is the knees want to do the opposite. They go all the way out, and that closes the lower back. So bring the knees together. Nice. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together. Take your knees wide. can place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. Arms out wide if some extra space to breathe is what you need here. And now reorganize the breath. Full breath in, notice the pause. Full breath out, notice the pause. Dead bug. Feet to the ceiling, grab the outside edges of your feet, the backs of your thighs, or with bent legs here, you can grab the front of your shins. Whichever one of those options allows you to keep that bony plate at your low back on the floor. All right, let's experience some stability. Take your feet to the ceiling. Lower your right leg down toward the floor halfway. On your next exhale, switch legs. And on your next exhale, switch legs, moving with your breath. Flex your feet. Extend your legs as much as you can here. Take all the bend out of your knees that can. Nice. Now pull your belly button to the floor. With your breath for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet in the air. Exhale, lower them 30 degrees toward the floor. 30 more. Hover them 2 inches above your mat. Lift your shoulders. Take a look. Send them all the way back up. Exhale, lower 30. 30 more. Down toward the floor. Take a look at them. Count your toes. I'm not sure how many you have, so count them. And once you've completed, bring them all the way back up. Exhale, lower 30. This is your last one. 30 more. Press through your heels. Down to hover. Take a look at your toes and wiggle them. Send them all the way back up. Hug your knees. And then roll like a ball forward and back all the way up to boat pose. Sit all the way up on your sit bones here, and then you create your boat. Feet on the floor or lifted. Hands behind your thighs for support or lifted. Now lift your chest. Pull your jawbone straight back. One more breath and release it. Right side. Words are terrible tonight. Right side half pigeon. Yes. Set it up on your belly or your back. I kept wanting to call it figure 4. Figure 4 is what you're doing if you're going on your back. Extend your back leg completely. So this is another place if we take a lot of strength classes or other types of modalities where we might automatically want to get into that like 90-90 position. But we get something extra here with the back leg completely extended. You feel that stretch all the way up the left hip flexor. Allow yourself to sink into it. On every exhale, see if there's something you can give up or somewhere in the body where you can let go of a little bit of holding. And then you've got 3 more breaths here on this side to let gravity do its work. At the end of your 3rd exhale, switch sides. You can bring your leg all the way around or place yourself back in a down dog. Flex your left foot. It's going to keep any twisting or rotation out of your knee. And then begin to fold it forward. Maybe it's a little fold here at first. Maybe in your practice, you're working on getting your left foot a little bit closer to the end of your mat, and therefore you want to stay a little bit lifted here to allow the muscles to really start to do what they need to do to accommodate that new shape. Our muscles are super smart in that if we try to do something that they're like, hey, we're not ready for that yet. A lot of times they'll just kind of lock up and not let us do it. But when we can add some oxygen and add some intention to moving into those sticky spots, our muscles are more likely to relax and start to let it happen. Take 3 more breaths. At the end of your third exhale, move yourself through a down dog or bring your leg all the way around. We'll meet in seated single leg extension on the right. So right leg extends, left leg in like tree pose. On an inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Big or little bend in that knee as you need. And then you can work the fold the same way we did in those other forward folds. On an inhale, you can take a little bit of a lift. And then on the exhale, see if there's more ease to be had in your fold. Take your toes all the way toward the ceiling. Yes. Release your toes, switch sides. Left leg extended, right leg comes in like tree pose. Inhale to reach high. Exhale to fold forward. Take as much bend in that knee as you need to. And then if you do find yourself kind of coming all the way down into the fold and you feel that there's nowhere left to go, add a little bit of bend to the knee. Yeah, so we don't just want to leave it locked out. There's energy to be had there. One more breath. And release both feet in front, seated forward fold. Take it on the same way. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Create the pose with the bend in the knee that you need to create some connection between your low belly and the tops of your thighs. Release your toes, tabletop or reverse plank, soles of your feet on the floor. Tabletop is just reverse plank with the knees bent at 90 degrees. So you choose what you want here. Press down, lift up, and lower all the way to the mat. Let's get upside down. Give yourself a moment flat on your back, and then you choose where you're going. Headstand, handstands, or shoulder stands. Take that on at the front of your mat, or take up some wall space. Shoulder stands or plow. Any which way that you want to get your feet above your hips and maybe your hips above your heart. Now, everyone here in the studio and at home, take a look at your feet that are above you. Stack them directly over top of your hips. And so for most of us, that's going to mean that feet are moving down towards what was the front of our mat. Yeah, that spot right there where you almost feel weightless, like you're going to fall over, that's where you want to be. Now press through your heels. Press through your big toe mounds. Turn the inner ankles back just slightly and pull in skin to muscle to bone. Full inversions. Take a few more breaths and then make your way down toward a child's pose. Shoulder stands and waterfalls. If you would like to take plow, bring your toes down toward the floor. And if they touch, you can let go of your low back. Maybe take a bind down at your mat. And plow to deaf yogi. Bring your knees down around your ears. Allow your back to get super round here. And take your arms out long on your mat, using them as brakes. Press your triceps into the floor. And using your arms as brakes, come all the way down, one vertebra at a time. And as you get there, squeeze your knees into center, drop them to your right side for a supine twist. And those of you at home, we are here in deep rest. Should you want to dim your lights or you have something nice prepared for yourself for Shavasana, get that ready. Squeeze your knees into center and take them to your left. Everyone in studio has a cold eye towel. Feel free to reach for that. Indulge when you are ready. Bring your knees back to center. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together, knees out wide. And we'll take 2 full clearing breaths here together. On an inhale, fill up and sigh out your mouth. Nice. One more like that. Shavasana. I'll share today's journey to the heart passage titled Experience the Thrill of the Climb. Don't stop now. You're almost there. You've worked so hard to climb this mountain. In the beginning, you were excited, exhilarated at the prospect of the mountain you were about to climb. Now you're almost at the top. You've struggled, gotten weary, and through it all, you kept going. Now your goal is in sight. Guidance is still there to help you. The life force, the one that keeps you going and keeps you moving forward, is still there too, burning brightly within you, charging all that you do with its energy. It may be difficult to feel it right now, but that's only because you're tired. See the mountain climber as he climbs the mountain. There are dangers and precipices and challenges along the way, but the higher he climbs, the steeper it gets, and the more tired he is, the more energy he has to put into the climb. Don't tell yourself that the way you feel is an indication that you should stop. The way you feel now is the way anyone would feel who was so deeply committed to life. It's the way anyone would feel who had committed to climbing the mountain that you've climbed. Don't stop now. Relax as much as you can. Know that the rhythm of life is still there, moving you forward. Focus intently on each step. Soon you will reach the top and reach your goal. Soon you will experience victory. Keep your eyes focused on the path and look straight ahead, and embrace this thrill of this climb. Begin to deepen your breath. And bring some small movements back to the body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make your way toward a full body stretch. Hug it all into center. Bring your knees to your chest or forehead and rock to your right side for infant's pose. Allow this to be a moment of rest on your journey. You are supported by the ground beneath you, by the practices that keep you grounded, and by this incredible community that is cheering for you every single step of the way. Press your left hand into the floor to rise to a comfortable seat. Eyes closed or drishti settled in front of your nose. On an inhale, reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll end as we began with one Om together. Breath in. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. We bow and acknowledge each other. Namaste. Awesome practice, yogis. Give yourselves a round of applause. Questions, comments, feedback, I am here for it. Should you be interested in learning more about the workshops we have coming up in January, there is also a breathwork and a meditation workshop happening. Those are happening in all 3 studios as well. So if you would find yourself in York, find yourself in Lancaster, or this isn't the studio that you usually come to, you can get those workshops at any of the studios. Watch your eyes, and I will see you all out front shortly. Online friends, thank you so much for coming. We'll see y'all later.